The gravity on Station Chrono 7 was precisely calibrated to 0.87 Earth standard, a compromise that satisfied neither the Martian colonists nor the Earthborn minority. William Chen had spent 3 years adjusting to it, but his body still remembered the crushing 1G of home, and that memory was about to save his life. The corridor outside the quantum mechanics lab was empty, which was why they'd chosen it. 3 senior cadets from the Martian cohort had William pressed against the reinforced carbon fiber wall, their hands gripping his uniform collar. In the reduced gravity, it would have been easy for William to break free on Earth, but here, their Martian-born strength, evolved over 2 generations in 0.38 G, gave them a decisive advantage. "Earthborn trash," spat Darius Vold, his angular face twisted with contempt. "You think you can outperform us in orbital mechanics. You think your gravity-well brain makes you special." William's feet dangled 15 centimeters off the deck. His vision was beginning to blur at the edges, not from lack of oxygen, but from the blood pooling in his legs due to the specific angle they held him. It was a tactic they'd clearly used before. "The math doesn't lie," William managed to gasp. "My simulation was accurate to 7 decimal places. Yours had a critical error in the delta V calculation." The punch was already in motion when Maya arrived. She didn't shout. She didn't announce herself. The first indication anyone had of her presence was her hand, small, brown, and impossibly fast, intercepting Darius's fist mid-arc. The kinetic energy had to go somewhere. In Earth gravity, it would have transferred through her arm into the ground. Here, it sent both of them spinning in opposite directions, but Maya had calculated for that. Her other hand shot out, grabbed a wall stanchion, and she used the rotational momentum to swing her body around, planting both feet against the wall in a perfect perpendicular stance. "Gentlemen," she said, her Hindi-accented English crisp and clear, "I believe you violated Section 7, Paragraph 3 of the Academy Code. Physical intimidation or assault of fellow cadets constitutes grounds for immediate expulsion." William dropped to the deck as the senior's grips loosened in surprise. He recognized her immediately, Maya Sharma, the Earthborn prodigy who'd arrived 3 months ago with perfect scores in astrophysics and a reputation for being untouchable. Not because she was aloof, but because she spent 16 hours a day in the advanced labs, working on problems that wouldn't be relevant for another decade. Darius recovered quickly, his face flushing red. "This doesn't concern you, Sharma. Go back to your equations." Maya pushed off from the wall, executing a controlled flip that brought her upright between William and his attackers. In the reduced gravity, the maneuver looked effortless, but William noticed the micro-adjustments in her posture. She'd calculated every newton of force. "Actually," she said, pulling out her personal tablet, "it concerns everyone on this station. You see, I've been running a longitudinal study on social dynamics in mixed-gravity environments. Your little harassment campaign against Earthborn cadets has been illuminating." She swiped her finger across the screen, and a holographic display materialized in the corridor. Graphs, charts, incident reports, all meticulously documented. William saw his own name listed alongside 7 others, each entry timestamped and annotated. 23 incidents in the past semester, Maya continued, her voice taking on the lecturing tone of a professor addressing particularly slow students. Each targeting Earthborn cadets who outperformed Martian-born students in subjects requiring intuitive understanding of Newtonian mechanics. The pattern is statistically significant at a p-value of less than 0.001. Darius's 2 companions shifted uncomfortably. The second senior, a woman named Keiko Tanaka, stepped back. "We were just..." "Just what?" Maya's dark eyes fixed on her. "Just enforcing an arbitrary social hierarchy based on planetary origin. Just engaging in systematic discrimination that violates the foundational principles of the United Colonies Science Academy." "You can't prove anything," Darius said, but his voice had lost its edge. Maya smiled, and it wasn't a friendly expression. I don't need to prove it. I've already sent this data to Dean Rakatamalala. She received it approximately 47 seconds ago, right when my tablet's motion sensors detected your elevated aggression indices. She paused, tilting her head. She should be arriving in 3, 2, 1. The corridor's emergency comm system crackled to life. All cadets in Section 7 Delta remain in place. Security is en route. Darius lunged for Maya's tablet, but she was already moving. In Earth gravity, her reflexes would have been good. In 0.87 G, they were superhuman. She ducked under his arm, pivoted, and used his own momentum to send him careening into the wall with a hollow thunk. Basic physics volt, she said. Force equals mass times acceleration. You're lighter here, but so am I, and I've spent my entire life compensating for gravitational variables you've never had to consider. Security arrived within 90 seconds, 2 armed officers in the distinctive blue uniforms of station personnel. They took one look at the holographic evidence still floating in the corridor and escorted the 3 seniors away. William noticed that Darius was limping slightly, favoring his left side where he'd impacted the wall. When they were alone, Maya finally looked at William directly. "You're bleeding," she observed, pointing to his lip. William touched his mouth, surprised to find blood on his fingers. Thank you. I don't know what would have happened if." "You would have lost consciousness in approximately 90 seconds, Maya interrupted, collapsing her holographic display with a gesture. "Then they would have scattered, and you would have woken up in medical with no witnesses and no evidence. It's happened before." "The other 7, William said, understanding dawning. "You've been collecting data this whole time. Why didn't you report it earlier?" Maya's expression shifted, becoming less clinical and more human. "Because data without context is just noise. I needed to establish the pattern, identify the perpetrators, and document enough incidents to make expulsion inevitable. If I'd reported after the first incident, they would have received warnings. Second incident, temporary suspension. But 23 incidents." She allowed herself a small smile. "That's a systemic problem requiring a systemic solution." William steadied himself against the wall, his legs still shaky. "You used us, used me." "I protected you," Maya corrected. "All of you. Do you think it's coincidence that none of those 23 incidents resulted in serious injury? I've been monitoring, intervening when necessary, documenting everything. And now," she gestured down the corridor where the seniors had disappeared. "Now they're gone, permanently. You could have told me, told us. And risk compromising the data. Risk one of you confronting them prematurely, escalating the situation." Maya shook her head. "No, this required patience and precision." William studied her face, seeing past the cold logic to something else, a fierce protectiveness carefully controlled. "You're Earthborn too. This is personal for you." For the first time, Maya's mask cracked slightly. "I left Earth 8 months ago. My younger brother Arjun was supposed to follow me next year, full scholarship to the academy, youngest applicant ever accepted." She paused, and William saw pain flash across her features. "He got into a disagreement with some Martian-born students during the pre-academy orientation on Luna Station. The official report said it was an accident, but I saw the medical scans. I knew." "What happened to him?" "Permanent neurological damage. He'll never leave Earth now. The neural regeneration treatments don't work properly in reduced gravity." Maya's hands clenched into fists. "So I came here, and I decided that what happened to Arjun would never happen to anyone else, not if I could prevent it." William felt something shift in his chest, anger mixing with admiration, mixing with a fierce determination he'd been suppressing for 3 years. "What do we do now?" "Now," Maya raised an eyebrow. "Now you go to medical, get that lip checked, and file an official report. I'll provide supporting documentation. The dean will handle the rest." "I meant long-term. This isn't going to stop with 3 expulsions. The prejudice, the resentment, it's built into the system." Maya was quiet for a moment, her analytical mind clearly processing the implications. Then she nodded slowly. "You're right. This is a symptom, not the disease." She pulled up her tablet again, opening a new file. "I've been working on a proposal for mandatory cross-gravity training protocols. Force everyone, Earthborn, Martian, Jovian, Lunar, to spend time in each other's environments. Build empathy through shared struggle." "That's actually brilliant," William said, "but the administration will never approve it. Too expensive, too complicated." "They will if we present it correctly. Not as a diversity initiative, they hate that, but as a safety protocol, an operational necessity." Maya's eyes gleamed with the light of someone solving an elegant equation. "Pilots who can't adapt to variable gravity are liabilities. Colonists who can't function in non-native environments are weak links. Frame it as strengthening the united colonies, and suddenly it becomes politically feasible." William laughed despite himself, wincing as the motion split his lip further. "You've been planning this for a while, haven't you?" "Since the day I arrived," Maya admitted. "The bullying data was just phase 1, establishing the problem. Phase 2 is implementing the solution. Phase 3, she smiled enigmatically. Phase 3 is making sure it spreads throughout the entire colony network." "You're not thinking small." "Small thinking doesn't change systems, William. It just creates temporary fixes." She extended her hand, formal and decisive. "So, are you interested in helping me revolutionize interplanetary education policy, or would you prefer to continue being a victim?" William looked at her hand, small, scarred from lab work, steady as steel, and thought about the past 3 years of casual discrimination, of being dismissed as gravity-bound, of watching his Earthborn friends slowly lose their confidence and ambition. He thought about Maya's brother, damaged beyond repair by the same systemic cruelty. He gripped her hand firmly. "I'm in, whatever it takes." "Good," Maya said, already pulling up documents on her tablet. "Because the dean wants to meet with us in 20 minutes and we need to have our proposal ready. Hope you're good at rapid prototyping." As they walked together toward the administrative offices, William realized something. He'd spent 3 years on Chrono 7 trying to prove he belonged by being better, smarter, more perfect than everyone else. But Maya had understood what he'd missed, that individual excellence meant nothing if the system itself was broken. She hadn't stepped in to save him. She'd stepped in to fix everything. And somehow, in the reduced gravity of a station orbiting Mars, that made all the difference.